Hey, it's Nikki.
And it's Brie.
And we're
Late to the Party.
A podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shaped us into the weirdos that we are. And today, we are holding space for Defying Gravity.
We are.
Finally.
Yes, finally.
How's it going, Brie?
It's good. It's been an emotional day.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's been an emotional week. I mean, to a degree.
How so?
Well, we saw Wicked,
Mm-hmm.
which I surprisingly felt very emotional watching. I've never seen like the original Wicked like play or heard like a lot of the music, but it was really good. I know we'll get into it. But also the Megan Thee Stallion documentary.
Yeah, there's a lot of, because we've been watching things.
We have.
We've been watching, we've been reading, we've been waiting. But yes, I dragged the whole family Thanksgiving weekend to see Wicked. My second viewing, your first. But I think I'm just in such a bubble, or just growing up as like a musical theater kid, where people hadn't heard about Wicked. It wasn't like a cultural phenomenon like it was in my household, you know?
And see, I thought it pretty much was one, and I missed out on it, obviously.
Yeah, what are your thoughts seeing Wicked for the first time? Because obviously, like, I have a history with it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be different for me. Like, I heard everyone in the audience, they were like, oh, making all the Wizard of Oz connections. And I'm making all of the Wicked, the Broadway production, Easter eggs. So we're just like on different playing fields. So I want to hear your initial Wicked review.
Okay. Well, I had a feeling that I would like it because I do like musicals.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I watched The Wizard of Oz as a kid, like a lot.
Were you a Wizard of Oz kid?
Yes. That was like a movie I watched, like, I don't know. I can't even count how many times. Like, probably could. Well, I don't know if I could quote it. It's been a long time since I've really sat down and watched it. But I know as a kid, it was one of my favorites. And like the music, like that's kind of a musical too. So, I know all those songs. But I really just enjoyed it from the start. I mean, I also love Ariana Grande.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun seeing her playing Glinda or Galinda.
Mm-hmm.
It was also really fun, like seeing like how they've expanded the story, and because it's kind of a prequel, but it's also its own kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's Wicked.
Yeah.
But
see, I don't know I'm just like my references.
So you hadn't read the books either?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
Yeah. I went through a big phase in probably middle school when I was first like fully getting into musical theater, and my aunt bought me the books, and so I read the books and I listened to the original soundtrack with like Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth like over and over, and then going on YouTube and watching the clips of like the original Broadway cast and then expanding upon that. So
yeah, and you got to see them, or like you got to see the show live? I mean,
oh yeah, I've seen it live.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just been a Wicked girl, and then of course loving Glee.
I was gonna say because Idina Menzel, is she on Glee?
Well, Idina Menzel plays Leah Michele, Rachel Berry's mom on Glee.
Okay.
Like, did you also miss the boat on Glee?
I did, yeah.
Okay, see, this is where I don't know. It's interesting what we like respond to. Sometimes really surprises even myself. Where I'm like, I was like a secret musical theater nerd, and Wicked was like my show. Like, I will still listen to the on Spotify, like the original soundtrack. But so you're not familiar with Wicked at all?
No,
Okay.
I was going in green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But now I am.
Yeah.
And I could see how you would watch it. Like, I could watch it again. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Well, it's not over.
I know.
There's a part 2.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I did not expect that. But I'm glad there has to be. Like, there's too much story to tell. Like,
well, it's funny you come from it that angle, and I'm like, no, but this is just like the Broadway musical, because this is the Broadway musical on screen.
Yeah.
And they have to make it into 2 parts, I think, because Defying Gravity, where do you go from that? Also, part 1, the first act of Wicked, the musical, all the bangers are in it. And then you cap it off with Defying Gravity. After that, you've lost the audience. Also, it's like a pretty long musical from my memory as well. So there are some bops in Act 2, like For Good or, whatever. But
not as many bops as the first act.
No. So just be warned, when you go back to see Wicked Part 2, it'll probably still be good, but it's definitely not going to be like, what is this feeling, into Dancing Through Life, into, you know, Popular, into Defying Gravity. Like,
Gotcha.
the bangers just aren't there. But you also can't, like, I don't know. An intermission would be silly too after like 3 hours.
Yeah, in like a movie theater. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What did you think of Ariana Grande? Because to me, she stole the show.
No, I thought she was great. I was like, I knew she could sing, but like, she was basically singing opera, and this is embarrassing, but I kind of cried at the opening scene just a bit because her voice was so beautiful. But her acting also, like her comedic timing is
so
on point.
Good.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it a little later, but she's the best, like, guest on SNL.
I love her on SNL.
This whole season, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if, well, both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have, like, amazing performances in Wicked, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got some nominations this year.
I hope they do. I feel like this movie could get a lot of nominations just in so many, like, for the acting, for the choreography. Like, it's probably not, but the choreography was snatched.
You missed the best part. You had a bathroom break during Dancing Through Life.
Dang
and
it.
What I am late to the party on, since I don't watch Bridgerton, is Jonathan Bailey, who plays Fiyero.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he was body rolling, booping dudes.
Okay.
It was, you think the choreography is snatched. Like, Dancing Through Life was like my favorite choreography wise.
Man, well, yeah. Dang it. I guess there's no, I almost just was going to hold my pee, but then I thought, I can't do it for like 3 hours. So
as someone that might potentially watch Wicked in theaters thrice,
yeah,
best time, hold the pee until they meet Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Oz.
Really? Oh, but I wanted to see Jeff Goldblum acting a fool.
But I don't think you need it. Like, I think, like, right before Defying Gravity.
Oh, yeah, because he does his weird thing with the diagrams or whatever. He's like, yeah, that I hear what you're saying.
It reminded me very much of, like, Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life when they do that Hamilton, like, Stars Hollow, like, play within a play bit. Yeah. I'm like,
You're right. That part was not really... Didn't really add anything.
Everything else. So that's my pee break suggestion.
Gotcha. I should have asked you. I don't know if I would have made it that far though, honestly, but
yeah. So Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought she was really funny. She just seemed like natural at like acting, you know? But I never really doubted her. I don't know. I feel like people doubt her.
I don't know. I don't know why. Ariana Grande is so talented and so funny, and she got her start on Victorious. So I think we always forget.
Yeah.
So she got her initial start on Broadway.
See, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I love this story though, like the whole story of like how her and Cynthia Erivo got cast, and like how they both really wanted to like play those parts for like a long time. Like that was like their childhood dream. I love that. It adds some magic, I think. I know, like, people kind of make fun of them, but I think it's kind of sweet.
I think it is. I think I love seeing, like, those TikToks and those, like, videos of Ariana Grande talking about meeting Kristen Chenoweth when she was 10 and, like, being obsessed with Wicked and, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I love the manifesting.
Yes.
Like, it just seems like they were both born to play these roles and really spent a lot of time and dedication. Mm-hmm. And put their like heart and soul into these characters. So,
and it was like 3 years of production.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah. So I guess what are we gonna have to wait like 3 years for part 2?
I think they filmed
or did they film it all?
I think they filmed them all like in one go. I think part 2 is already filmed. So
I'm just dying to know what happens. I know you probably already know. I wanted to ask you, since you're like really familiar with Wicked, like, what do you think of like the movie compared to like the source material? Like, is there anything that like strayed too far, or do you think it did like a good job representing it? Is there anything you wanted to see? I don't know.
No, not at all. This was like if you went to see Wicked.
Yeah. So they didn't really change anything. It's just it's the story just on the big screen.
Not at all. The one thing I did really like about the screen adaptation is Fiyero is like one of those characters that like my favorite before this was Adam Lambert's performance.
Adam Lambert was
Oh
Fiyero?
yeah, oh my god.
What?
You gotta YouTube it. You would love it. And it's like Hottie 2009.
I remember
Adam
that.
Lambert.
That's when we saw him in concert around that time.
Yeah.
I think. Oddly enough.
Yeah. So, but usually that, like, I think originally they were going to cast Shawn Mendes as Fiyero, which no. Like, Jonathan Bailey has this, like, Rupert Everett type of riz to him.
He does have this, yeah.
That I really like. And I think that a lot of times Fiyero is, like, the celebrity play, like a Nick Jonas or whoever. Adam Lambert is gonna.
Well, we already have like Ariana Grande. You know, I feel like. I mean, how many more celebrities? There's Cynthia Erivo. There's the guy. Is it Bowen Yang?
Yeah, Bowen Yang. I mean, Jonathan Bailey, if you watch Bridgerton, I hear is pretty popular as well. But they have like
actually now that I'm going down the list, I'm like, wait, I guess there are a lot of never mind popular people.
But they're trained theater actors, and usually like a Fiyero is like a stunt casting.
Just like, yeah. It's just who you are, I guess.
Yeah, and I would lump Ariana Grande into like a legit actor. I know we don't like. A lot of people don't view her as that, or like the people we were with. I was like, "That's Ariana Grande," and they were like shocked.
I know that was funny.
I'm like, "No, but she's really talented."
And she has, yeah, you're right though. Like people forget,
yeah,
she was on Disney Channel, and apparently she was on Broadway.
Yeah. She does look a lot different, but
yeah,
but maybe that's it,
I guess.
But yeah, any other like wicked thoughts?
Well, like I said, I enjoyed the music a lot. I feel like, yeah, they were all bangers.
Favorite song, favorite musical sequence.
I'm holding space right now. I mean, Defying Gravity was really good. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm thinking of like scenes now. Like I'm thinking of scenes that I love.
Yeah.
Which is not the question. But
I mean, it's a musical. So,
yeah, I'm trying to like jog my memory of the songs. But like, I like the scene, where like Elphaba goes to like the dance and wears the hat, like that whole scene. That was more of like an emotional scene. I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of emotional scenes in this movie.
I mean, the first time, so I couldn't wait. I know we'd planned to watch this movie like on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then it came out the week before. I could not wait. So I saw the Saturday matinee on the 23rd, and as soon as The Wizard and I, that scene pops up, like waterworks. Couldn't contain myself. But that's like my favorite song, and I get emotional just listening to like Idina Menzel sing it on my Spotify, you know?
Yeah, and she has a beautiful voice too. Yeah,
I mean, both of them do.
They do. And it's crazy to me because like, well, like, you know, thinking of like the original like Wicked cast, like Kristen Chenoweth, like I forget that she can sing.
Oh yeah,
like she can really sing.
But that's her. Yeah, that's her like trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know. It's crazy just how we lump people into boxes sometimes.
She's not just the lady from Deck the Halls. She's not just Danny DeVito's wife.
Yeah, I know.
This is Wicked erasure. This is Broadway erasure.
Oh.
I mean, another standout scene for me is Popular.
Popular, yeah.
The way Ariana Grande, like the first watch, I was like, oh, this is just her Kristen Chenoweth impersonation. And then second time I watched it, I was like, oh no, Ariana Grande is doing some runs and putting her stank on it too. And
I loved when she put her stank on it, like the little vocal runs. Yeah. Her little Ariana Grande isms.
And I really appreciated it for that. You were talking about like, you know, comparing the stage version to the movie adaptation. And what I love about it is like in YouTube, I've seen the original cast. You know, I didn't go and see it. I was young and whatever. But seeing like just a random production with not a random cast, but not the original cast.
Yeah.
And like, you know how you can see a production and it's, you know, so-and-so is Elphaba, so-and-so is Galinda. And it's like, you know, just rotating different actors in the role at different times. this felt like that as well. Like, this doesn't feel like a definitive Wicked cast. Like, this is Elphaba, this is Galinda, even though I feel like they were born to play these roles.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like a great interpretation of these two characters. And I don't know, it like reminds me of the stage and like theater actors. They just seem really authentic in that way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's hard because I'm like, yes, they are the they're the only ones that could do. But I mean, I'm sure, you know.
But it's like their version of it. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay,
like,
yeah. Like how you might get it. Yeah, it's just cool to see like a different version of it. Just, I know what you mean. Yeah, because when you watch like a play or something, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you could get the understudy that day.
Yeah.
And they could have an interpretation of the character in a different way and put their little, you know,
Put their stank on it.
put their stank on it. Or, you know, I think it is really cool as well. I know I'm like talking your ear off about Wicked. I want to hear your thoughts too. Trust me. I did like Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba though.
I did too.
I liked it because it is really interesting to see a Black woman play Elphaba. It holds a lot more weight.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just
It's powerful.
It was powerful. I want to hold space for Defying Gravity.
Yeah. No, that song got me. I mean, the whole like story got me, I think. And I think Cynthia Erivo's performance just really, I don't know, she's so good.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, she was good in Harriet.
She
too.
was. I saw that movie. She was. I really remember seeing that, even though it was a bit of a discourse with like some of our family members. Because I'm like, I saw it with someone, and it wasn't you.
I've never seen Harriet.
And we finally got to the bottom of it. So
I'm sure it's great.
But yeah, no, I remember seeing that movie a few years ago and being like, oh wow, she's really good, and not thinking much of it. But then I remember like with Wicked, like all the promo and stuff, thinking, who is she? Like, I feel like I know her. It's hard to imagine anyone else. Like, I feel like she brings so much like emotion to the role, but they both do. Her and they're just so perfect in this moment for this film.
It is what we need. I don't want to put too much weight on Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo,
I know.
but they are saving the nation. They are bringing people together, one like finger hold at a time.
Oh my gosh, that video where where Ariana's grabbing onto her finger.
I love the press tour for Wicked.
So funny, but it's so like they're so emotional, and I think because we're on the outside, like just as people, like we're not involved in this production. It's not our dream, you know, or maybe it is, but not, you know, it's not the same.
But I get it.
Yeah,
I completely get it, and I think that's what's so charming about it. You know, especially like, I don't know, Ariana Grande talking about it and getting emotional. Cynthia Erivo as well. Cynthia Erivo just seems like such an esteemed, mature adult.
I know. I was going to say she's very demure.
Yeah, she's like very demure. So it's hard for me to relate because I'm like, oh yeah, she's just an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Ariana Grande, like, you know, her crying because this is her. That's so authentic and endearing, and we don't get to see that a lot, especially on press junkets. And what I love about the holding space is you can tell Cynthia Erivo probably like was zoning out and then was like, oh my god,
she like comes right back in.
And just, I don't know, I love the authenticity of this press.
I do too. Yeah. I'm glad we went to go see Wicked. Like, it's, I don't know. It gave me a lot of joy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Oh yeah, back to favorite scenes and like musical numbers. Like what was your favorite?
Yeah, I don't know about songs other than Defying Gravity. You know what I mean?
You don't have to have a title. You could just
I could
get
tell
the
you
vibes.
scenes though.
I'm very familiar with Wicked, the movie now, and the musical until intermission. So you've hit me at a good time talking about Wicked Part 2, and I'm going to be like, I don't know. I don't remember. They sing For Good, and they sing Thank Goodness, and then it wraps up. But to me, it ends at Defying Gravity. This is my story.
It could, honestly, and we could just interpret the rest. Like, I would be satisfied. That's how good it is. It doesn't necessarily, Part 2 would help, and I have questions for you to follow up in a moment.
And I might not be able to answer them, but
I'm still going to ask. Because you are like my Wicked expert. But yeah, what were we talking about?
Oh, any like standout scenes in
standout
musical
scenes.
numbers?
Okay, one of the standout scenes I feel like is when Elphaba gets to the university. First off, she wasn't supposed to even be there, really. Like, she was just there for her sister enrolling, and she was just kind of hanging around. And then she gets upset because her sister's in a wheelchair. Is this part of it too, or did they just?
No, that's all a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Brie. You go. And this
I don't
is
know.
what I like. No, this is perfect because it was what I was trying to describe before. If you went, on Broadway right now, or down to your local theater, and you saw Wicked, this would be it. Like, it feels like a production of Wicked.
It's
like,
written so well.
Beat, so.
I feel like it's written very well.
Yeah.
And it's very diverse. Like, I don't know. All these characters are really interesting. Like,
who's your favorite character?
I don't know. I mean, I really like Elphaba. I really like Galinda too.
Side characters. Are you now like an Ethan Slater head?
No, but I didn't hate him in this. I don't know
enough. A Bach boy? Anyways, go ahead.
I am not a Bach boy. I would say whoever Bowen Yang's playing is hilarious because he's just kind of there to be the sassy friend. Like, he's, flirting with the prince as well. I'm like, yeah,
is that you?
I love his funky glasses.
Mm-hmm.
They may even be cooler than Elphaba's glasses, which I think are like, they're really fun. Like, I loved all the touches. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so much. I don't know. I feel like I'm just word vomiting.
No, I did that too. Word vomit.
I love the costumes. But yeah, like, earlier we were saying, like, talking about, like, this movie, like, being up for nominations. Like, I feel like costumes would be a category that this movie should be nominated for. Like, the costumes were very good. They look like perfect for the characters and just like good quality costumes.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't cheap out on the costumes.
They tried. Like, John M. Chu tried.
Yes.
Like, put in effort.
They built a whole world. Yeah. I don't know.
Practical sets. Cynthia Erivo did her own stunts.
What?
And sang.
That's awesome.
I mean, not all of them. Obviously, she wasn't flying up in the air like
she was really
like crazy, but
that air balloon was really.
Yeah. But there is like the behind the scenes of her like leaping when the air balloon's still in Oz, like in the building.
Okay.
And she like jumps across.
Yeah,
that's like her on wires.
I'm sure they have to like marry the real set and the CGI, but it's not like distasteful like CGI. Like, it's like the perfect like touch, I feel.
I thought so too. But yes.
I feel like I'm avoiding your question. I'm so sorry.
Side characters.
There's just so many. Oh, side characters. Yeah, I think he's my favorite. Bowen Yang's my favorite side character. Because I feel like he has so much personality. But also, is it Mr. Dilliman or Dr. Dilliman? Is he a doctor?
The goat?
Is he a professor?
Yeah.
Yeah, the goat. Which is Peter Dinklage. I didn't realize that. I kept waiting. Okay, I don't know if this is like PC, but I kept waiting for little people to be part of the Munchkin Land. But then I don't know if that's good or bad. I think there's like a discourse about it.
I don't know. Like, with the whole Snow White thing, it's like, what do you do with little people?
I feel like I'm not the person to be speaking on it.
I feel like as a fan of Tiptoes, Gary Oldman should just play all little people roles. Just give it to him. CGI it. Do like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh,
just CGI all Gary Oldman.
You could just CGI people. I thought that was interesting though.
Yeah,
that everyone like the Munchkin Land is like there's no, they don't really care about size. Like everyone's just people.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
And also Wicked. It's not the Wizard of Oz. It's not like a retelling. Well, it is a retelling of the Wizard of Oz, but it's like a prequel. It's not. The lore isn't 100% the 1930s Wizard of Oz.
Right.
It's
almost like fan fiction, but in like way better. Like, if how like a lot of people write things, because we've talked a lot on this podcast about things that were inspired by other things.
Yeah.
Like for example, like 50 Shades of Grey, inspired by Twilight.
Yes.
That's not very good. But this is like an idea and expanding on it. because obviously someone else wrote it and stuff. But it like, I don't know, I feel like it explores so many avenues that make so much sense, because sometimes you'll watch a movie, even if it's by like the same person who maybe made an original and it's a prequel, it doesn't always get to the nitty gritty. And it's not always like, there's so many plot holes. And so far I have yet to find a plot hole in this story.
No. I mean, they've also had 21 years to, you know, really hold space for Wicked as a whole. But no, I agree. It's a really great adaptation. And I'd rather see like a million different IP versions of Wicked than see a live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
That makes my blood boil.
I know. We saw so many previews of like Disney live action movies.
There's going to be a live action Lilo and Stitch.
That is why
they're going to make me lose my mind.
And also, what just happened to animation? Like, where'd the art of animation go? Like hand drawing, and
it's offensive. Doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon, and the best part being the dragon, which just looks like the animated dragon.
It's the same dragon.
What? There's nothing you can expand. There's 3 How to Train. Sorry, break.
No,
there's 3 How to Train Your Dragons. Why do you don't need to retell that there's already a movie that is How to Train Your Dragon? Cut the crap.
Tell him. No, it's true. I agree. I mean, it makes 0 sense. Like, at least this is like taking something, like giving it, you know, because like, yeah, if you missed out, I don't know, is Wicked still on like Broadway? Is this a show that keeps going? Like, if I wanted to get tickets, could I? Or are they going to bring it back because of the movie?
I don't know if, you know, like a Cats situation, it just keeps going.
Is Cats still going?
No, but I know it was for a really long time.
I was like, wait a second, you can't tell me. I feel like it would stop going after the CGI, like live action Cats. Speaking of live action,
if you want to see Wicked on stage, it's always touring.
Okay, good.
It is always touring. Now, is it on Broadway? Yes. It is on Broadway.
Awesome.
Every day.
From now to the end,
including Mondays. I thought theater went dark on Mondays, but I digress.
Maybe do you think it's like the hype of the movie, like bringing more butts to the seats?
Nah, no offense. People don't like theater like that, even if they say they do. That's what I've learned in my experience with the theater.
I love the theater. I
do too.
Love a good performance.
Same.
And the over the topedness. Standout scenes. I never finished my
sorry.
It's probably me too. Well, anyway, the scene where Elphaba comes with her sister to the university. Shiz. Yes. Which to me is kind of a funny name, because I'm like, the Shiz.
That's how some people in that Dancing Through Life scene were body rolling. Like they say, the Shiz.
That's what I'm saying. The choreography is like so interesting. Like, because they're really they're like getting crunk. They're like dropping it low. They're like stepping. They're doing all sorts of things. And there were all the dancers, like their formation was so tight. Like I just couldn't get over it. I kept looking at all like the background.
I agree. I think it's so interesting because we're in this weird time in film and cinema, in the movies, where, you know, for the past couple years, the ads, like they've been trying to market musicals as non-musicals.
Yeah.
And
I hate that. I'm like, cut the crap with that too. Just be honest.
Yes. But like, as someone that, you know, has seen the quote unquote musicals, like a Mean Girls, even though it's a different thing, it's just the choreography in the movie adaptations don't go hard or don't feel like, you know, musicals are like not new to the screen. Like that's kind of what old Hollywood was in a lot of ways. And I like that this choreography is fully out there. It's not like the gritty. It's not like it's different types of shows, but like a Les Mis, like when, you know, Les Mis when everyone's singing live. And like some of it's good, some of it's Russell Crowe. And, you know, like there's just like, ooh, we gotta be gritty. We gotta be like a movie. Too cool. Like even in Wonka, like there was this idea like we can't be too dancey.
Yeah, it's like they did some of that in Wonka. I feel like Wonka wanted to be like Wicked, and they hyped it up to. I mean, it is just Wonka. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there was nowhere near the same level of like oomph.
This is made by people and for people that love musicals and love theater and love the spectacle of it and love dancing and singing and stuff. And I like that they leaned into it. I don't know how you couldn't lean into it because it's a musical, but
no, I think everyone that was on the project, like it appeared that all the actors are like really giving it their all, and like the dancer, like you can just feel it. And then the way they decided, I also really enjoyed how they did like really interesting camera work. And one of my favorite scenes, I know I got up to pee, so I missed part of it, but I did see like the beginning or the end of like when they're in I guess it's the library, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like the bookshelves are on these like, there's like these cylinders, I guess, like spin, but they have like some really cool like camera work, but also like the books are spinning and there's like there's probably like trapeze or acrobatics involved too, but it's so stimulating. And it's just so cool. And I'm thinking from like a dancing perspective, like if you were a dancer, like that's probably a lot to coordinate and with the people around you and just in general. Like
so cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah. No, I love that scene. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I even didn't mind. I see it on the doc. You have SpongeBob written down.
Yes, I just felt like we had to address SpongeBob.
What I want to address is the palpable chemistry between Ethan Slater and Ariana Grande that translates through the screen.
Yeah.
I was like, is Galinda gonna like get with Vic? Like, what the heck? Like, because I've seen other Galindas and productions and stuff, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
I was kind of like that too. I'm like, oh, all right. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on SpongeBob.
I'm like, okay.
It's also none of my business, Yeah.
Well, for sure. And I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like people are like really hard on her about breaking up. But I'm like,
But why? Why are they so hard?
But he made a choice too.
Yeah, why aren't they mad at him? Well, they're not mad because of the obvious dynamics. That she's way too good for him. And he should be but so lucky. So he's just taking what he can get. But that's kind of offensive to him because he's a theater guy and theater guys have this weird charm.
Yeah, maybe he does have a weird charm.
Yeah.
I mean, he sort of does in this movie.
Yeah. I like him. And also he really fits. He's a Broadway actor.
Yeah.
He's good.
He felt like it was like he was in his element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of Ethan Slater?
I didn't mind him. I wasn't sure at first because I was like, wait a second. Isn't that SpongeBob? But see, like, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him in general. I didn't see SpongeBob. Yeah. I'm trying not to be a hater because I'm like, I don't know. It's not my personal life.
He's super talented.
Yeah. He's got a bit of a charm to him. He seems like really, and the character he plays is super nice. Yeah. Bach is really nice. So it's kind of hard not to get behind that character.
And I like Ariana Grande being messy.
Yeah.
That's like a part of it for me. Do it for the plot.
Right. I say so.
Yeah, I know breaking up a marriage, but what if we don't know their lives?
Yeah, I feel like,
And so what if they did? She was a great Galinda, and he was pretty good too.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh
yeah, back to what was your favorite song?
I guess Defying Gravity. I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember any other songs. I know there were songs. Popular was really good, though. That was fun.
And you've never heard these songs before?
Maybe I've heard like a snippet or like in the background. Like maybe you were playing it or somewhere it was playing, but never like went out of my way to, because I feel like you need the story to get into the song.
Oh,
to a degree.
Contraire. I think you can listen to the original Broadway soundtrack and get all the pieces you need and then see it on stage. It's a gateway.
Okay. No, I could see that.
I think the soundtrack's a gateway for a lot of musical theater kids in the suburbs.
Gotcha. Is that you?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, loved the Idina Menzel, Kristen Chenoweth cameo.
That's what I was about to say. That was really cute. They just they were in this. It's like a recreation of like how Oz was. I don't know.
Like founded.
Founded? Yeah.
Back to Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life. A real Stars Hollow Hamilton story as well.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But
It's cute
It
though.
was really cute.
I was like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Were you prepared for that? I feel like there was no press. I don't remember seeing anything about that.
I mean, no.
Which is probably for the best.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I was really happy. I shed a tear. I was like, yeah.
Just, I know. I looked at you a couple times and I was like, Nikki, I was like trying to joke with you and I could tell you were like in this zone. But it's okay because there was like a lot of parts that were getting me. And I don't know if you could tell.
It's okay. I cried during Wicked. I cried during the Megan the Stallion documentary.
I did too.
Oh my God. No, the first scene. Sorry if I'm blowing out the speakers. The first scene of that Megan the Stallion documentary, when all the girls are like super inspired by her. Mm-hmm. I cried. Her mom dies. Yeah. I cry.
I know. I woke up this morning. I was going to watch it last night. I ended up watching the documentary this morning. And it put me in a mood for the day. I was like, man, I knew it'd be a little bit emotional because I saw someone on TikTok say that. And I was like, okay, but how emotional can it? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'll be prepared. But I was not.
What?
I'm still thinking about it.
What tugged at your heartstrings?
All of it. I mean, a lot of the stuff with her and her mom, I think, like that. And then seeing her go through that trial and just, I don't know, just thinking about her having to deal with things and being so isolated and like, it just seems like a lot, you know? Her best friend turning her back on her after she got shot in the foot, that was really messed up. Like, I feel like if that happened to one of us, we would be like, there'd be no doubt. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just crazy. You can't trust anyone. I understand her trust issues.
I get it. I get why you'd want to like just crawl into your hole and watch some anime.
Yeah.
Twerk it out.
Just twerk it out. Yeah.
Are you a hottie?
Oh, you mean, you mean like the fan base?
Yeah.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yes. Yes, I am. I'm going to be honest. I was late to the party. Obviously I love Megan Thee Stallion. I'm familiar with a lot of her like bigger bops. Mm-hmm. And I always believed that she was shot in the foot. Like I never doubted her. Mm-hmm. But I haven't gotten deep into her like discography, you know, or her story. So I feel like this is like a gateway for me to like want to know more.
I mean,
you
know more than me.
Really?
No, the first time I discovered Megan Thee Stallion was the summer of 2019 because it was Hot Girl Summer.
Yes.
It was a movement. I feel like one day I just woke up and was like, real hot girl shit. And just, you know.
Like,
yeah. She was just here in the zeitgeist. And I was aware of Megan Thee Stallion. But what I love about her is, you know, we're kind of similar in age to her. And she just does seem like a girl that had a dream and made it. But she seems like a real person. Like, yes. I've known people and they've reminded me of Megan Thee Stallion, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe not that alter ego, maybe Megan Pete. But, you know, I see her and I'm like, oh, I see a real person. I've known girls like that, like super confident, you know, just,
yeah.
They've been in my orbit. So it's like, I don't know her and not to get too parasocial, but I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm glad she made it. It's like an old college friend or something that got famous.
Yeah.
You know?
She seems pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
I honestly sat in silence for a while today. After watching this documentary, I held space for it. There's so much to unpack.
Well, let's unpack it.
I feel like her story is just like really inspiring. I don't know, seeing how she like created Megan Thee Stallion, like that persona was pretty cool. But there are a lot of things she said that I thought were interesting. She said, "Let's be real, everybody's a hoe." And she said, "Men are objects to me," which I thought was kind of funny. But
I think it's so interesting that Megan Thee Stallion does seem to kind of walk the walk because I've never seen her surrounded by men in general. And the one man she hung out with shot her in the foot. So, but she's like someone that has, you know, an entourage of women or like all her dancers are women. And it just seems like all of her fans and her audience, like core audience, they're all girls and like women.
Yeah.
So I never doubted her. It's interesting to see a female rapper just in general and how they navigate through things. And she's always been a girl's girl, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. She definitely seems like a girl's girl. And I love that. And I love like like it's really cool seeing like her, like obviously her mom passed away, which is sad, but like seeing their relationship, like how her mom was like her biggest hype woman, being like, you can twerk harder than that. And also her mom was a rapper too, or she was like freestyling in her own time. Like that was like her inspiration. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I'm learning is like you cannot trust these fellows out there. I mean, I'm just like, this is so crazy. Like her story is so crazy. It's like within a short period of time, like just a few years, like all this stuff happens. Like, but her career is also rising at the same time. And then it's like all this other stuff behind, you know, the scenes. Cause it's like, yeah, we hear about her being shot in the foot, or like people have their opinions whether she was or not.
Yeah.
But it's like, it really, you see how it like affects her. I just feel like, you know, with celebrities, we don't really think too hard about things like this. It's like, oh yeah, she got shot in the foot, whatever. It may not matter to us as, you know what I mean? But if that's something that happened to you, if you think about it, like if you were shot in the foot, like it could be traumatic, or like the person that shot you is like threatening you or making music videos where they're chopping up horse legs in reference to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty like, I don't know.
Well,
scary.
Yeah. I mean, she seemed also really vulnerable. You know, like I didn't realize like she lost her mom, and then, you know, COVID happened and she blew up, and then she got shot in the foot and all this happened, and she's still on this like meteoric rise, and she's going through all of this. It kind of puts things into perspective where you're like, oh, you never know like what happens behind closed doors, or it was just a little bit of like a paradigm shift to be like, oh, you could be like successful career wise and still be facing really like hardships. So
yeah, I know. I just like assume, but I guess because she has that tough exterior, you know. Yeah, that's why she built Megan Thee Stallion as her armor, but which is pretty badass, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pro alter ego.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm like, do I need to build an alter ego? But I don't know. I'm not like, you know, I don't know if in life you can have an alter ego.
I don't know if you can have an alter ego, but I definitely think there is power in a rebrand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read this really interesting Elle magazine article. It's talking about the power of the rebrand, and this year being like the year of the rebrand, whether it's on like a huge level, like Chapel Roan really coming into her own this year and all of her success, which is kind of like an alter ego, to like a Daisy Edgar Jones who gets styled by Danny Michelle and puts on those tiny sunglasses and turns it out and just becomes like a star, or at least in my mind. Like you're like, oh, you're in the world, in this world now. Yeah, you know,
you're reborn.
Like, yeah, or like Charlie XCX, like who's been at this and curating this for a really long time, but then Brat is just like massive, and she's synonymous with Brat and has a definitive style, and it's, you know, like it's all culminated. Or Addison Rae. That's where I think like it's not just for brands. Like you can have a personal rebrand, maybe not an alter ego, but you can have an Addison Rae if you aren't doing things for just like short-term fame, but if you have like a vision. Yeah. Like I think anyone and every day can have an Addison Rae essence of their own.
I love that. I feel like Addison Rae is so interesting because like when I think of her, I really just think about her now. Like I don't think about like, I mean, I wasn't super familiar with like her influencer kind of era anyways, but I knew of her, but I think of her as a different person almost. Like I feel like it's a clear rebrand, you know?
100%.
Like she seems like a different person. I know she's not like completely a different person, but I think whatever she did, it's working. And she is really talented. Like I know, like I read that article too, and they say like, you know, like I guess like she was getting lumped in. Like I didn't realize she was part of Hype House.
Yeah.
And I could see how that wouldn't be the best start, maybe, but
yeah. She was like, the way I think about old Addison Rae is like, I lump her in with Hype House, Charlie D'Amelio, like the first people to blow up for dancing. Maybe doing the Savage remix dance on TikTok.
Probably.
Yeah. And then now I'm obsessed with Aquamarine in the music video.
It's really good.
It's giving like Eyes Wide Shut mixed with, I don't know, just like, what is that directing style?
Oh, wait, I looked it up again recently. Oh gosh, it's like cinema something. Oh, what is it? It means like, is it verite?
It's an offshoot of that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's just like French art housey in a weird way. Like, I don't know, and her just in proximity with Charlie XCX and like Troye Sivan and just being in this world now and screaming on the Von Dutch remix. Like, it's just cool.
It is very cool. She's really cool. I can't believe she's only... Is it just those 2 songs that she's released, right?
Yeah. She had To Die For with Charlie XCX last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our most popular TikTok clip where I talk about recession core music with you.
Yeah.
And I ride hard for Addison Rae's single To Die For and her EP, but she's only continued to prove whatever. But I also discounted her a couple years ago when she was making like the He's All That remake of She's All That.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's really cringe and lame. And now I just view her in a whole entirely different way.
Same. No, I've definitely changed. I mean, because I too would just lump her in with like Charlie D'Amelio. Like I don't know. Just like, yeah, she dances. She's got a TikTok. Who is she to me? But now I'm like, oh wow, wait a second. As soon as I heard Diet Pepsi, I was like sold, honestly.
How do you feel? Because for me, Addison Rae, I'm obsessed with all of her early 2000s references.
Mm-hmm.
I understand her on like a deep level in that way. Like all of her pap walks where she's like looking like Britney Spears, like Cheetos and Frappuccinos, like barefoot outside of the gas station. Like
that's a vibe.
She's referencing that, like her with the Lady fucking Gaga shirt and like no pants.
That's a vibe. I say keep it coming. Like,
well, I love it. I just love her like references and stuff. I'm like, I pick up what she's putting down.
Yeah.
Her little Lana Del Rey.
She's winking. I know. I feel like I picked up on a lot of the Lana Del Rey references like immediately. I mean, I feel like they're pretty obvious. It's like, okay, obviously. But she does her own thing too. Like she puts her own spin on things. I love that. I want to see what she does next. Like I'm like, give me more. Why do we just have these 2 songs right now? Maybe she's probably busy. She's probably cooking right now.
I'm sure she's cooking.
Yeah.
With Aquamarine. Also, I love the reference too. I also know her. I know the reference.
Yeah. Didn't she say that it was because like that was part of it? That movie she used to watch all the time.
Yeah.
We used to watch all the time.
I know. I also like Addison Rae. We used to watch Aquamarine all the time.
Yeah.
It's a very seminal movie. But yeah. What are your thoughts on like, can people rebrand, or is that just for a business?
I think people can. I think people do. I think we do all the time.
To evolve.
We do. We evolve. And what is it? Megan Thee Stallion says, like a snake, we need to shed our skin sometimes. That's some words of wisdom.
Sometimes you don't want to kill yourself. Sometimes you want to kill a version of you to be reborn again.
That's so true. I believe that's true. I think we'd rebrand like subtly. I think over time, like it just is natural. Or sometimes it's like you just feel it coming. Yeah. Like I thought of dyeing my hair recently, but then it kind of passed.
Why not?
But I don't know. It passed, I guess. I don't know exactly why, but sometimes you just feel an itch to rebrand of sorts, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Like to shake things up. I think we need change to a degree. Like,
yeah. I think like for the chronically online, but also like being chronically like, or having an online presence or a persona or a presence just in public is very much like living in a small town. Yeah. Where a lot of times people project a lot onto you and you are like cemented in people's minds as one way.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a little more to like shed your skin. But I think it's like worth it. It's worth it to evolve and not just stay for whatever reasons of like others.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think of Gaga. I feel like she's evolved a lot. Like she's kind of like she's always been Gaga, but I feel like we've seen her go through so many phases of sorts, you know? And like I don't know, right now I'm not sure what phase she's going through. But I think she's in the process of shedding her skin. is what I think.
I think so. I mean, you know, I'm gonna ride for Gaga
Yeah.
no matter what she does. And Die with a Smile has grown on me.
It has.
Also, now seeing Fale Ado and listening to Harlequin, Die with a Smile is great. It really put things into perspective for me.
Yeah.
I wish she held space for that era a little more because I'm like into the look with her and Bruno Mars.
Yes.
With her strawberry blonde bouffant and her just like moving around, like moving her body around in slow motion.
I love that music video. Like the aesthetics. I love the aesthetics.
I do too. And what that's just a one-off?
That's a one-off, I think. I mean, now I was thinking about this. I haven't seen Fale Ado, but
Fale, don't.
I know. Oh, yeah. Well, you said
Sorry,
it was a don't.
I stole that joke from you.
No, you can't. I knew it was coming. I was going to say it, but then I was like,
talk about a bad rebrand.
Fale don't.
Yeah, Fale don't.
Like, what do you think about her Harlequin kind of like, it seems like she's getting something out of her system to me from the movie. Cause they didn't ask her to make that album, right? Like she made some of the music was for the movie, like the soundtrack, but then she did her own thing for my understanding afterwards. Just,
I mean, well, you know, Lady Gaga loves to sing the standards.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just a fact.
But as like a, as Harlequin?
I don't know if it was necessary.
But I think she said it was. She was not done with that character.
And you didn't have to put it out. But maybe she had, I don't know, maybe it's to fill some contract obligations. I will always give my girl.
You think it's more practical?
I don't know, maybe.
Or is it just art?
I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I love her so much. And she's the best part of that movie.
I've heard that she's the best part.
Harlequin, though?
Yeah.
Is not good. Not a good album.
Yeah. I have to agree.
But then she puts out Disease, and it's a banger. It's grown on me, and I love it, and I can't wait for LG7. So it almost doesn't matter. And Gaga always does this stuff. Sometimes she does have to get it out of her system. Mm-hmm. She is a theater kid at heart.
She is.
She's a little
method actor.
Method acty. She's a little self-indulgent, and that's okay.
We don't mind.
It's like, I don't mind Harlequin as thing that exists in the world because it's sandwiched in between Die with a Smile and Disease.
Yeah. I love Disease. I feel like I wonder like this new album if it's gonna be like it reminds me of old school Gaga in a way. I mean, obviously it's now.
I love how we forget about Chromatica. This is so funny. I wrote it on, or you wrote it. One of us wrote, "Is she having a comeback?" Which is so crazy because Chromatica happened and it was great.
It was. Yeah. Why did we forget about Chromatica? What happened with that? Do you feel like that was, it was bad timing, wasn't it?
The COVID-19 vaccine made us forget about Chromatica.
No. Wait, I'm thinking about it though.
Let's start a QAnon style conspiracy theory.
No, because I'm thinking, was it at the start of it that we just, because I remember getting into Chromatica and being all excited, but was that during COVID or, right? It was giving us life because we were
I remember
locked
this
in
very vividly. Okay, it was early March or February of 2020.
Very early, yeah.
Gaga puts out Stupid Love. I'm like, all
just
right.
Stupid Love.
I'm like, all right, okay. You're looking like a Pokemon a little bit, but I'm kind of into the song. And then COVID happens. But then right after, she puts Rain on Me out with Ariana Grande.
That was one of my favorites.
So good.
Really cool music video, too.
Instant classic. Banger. No song that year, including Megan Thee Stallion, was better, in my opinion. And then we get deeper into COVID. In May, June, spring, summer time, Chromatica comes out. It's a soundtrack to my 2020.
Yeah. I remember specifically hanging out with you and just fist bumping,
oh just God. Sour Candy, Free Woman got me through some hard times.
That was a good song. Is a good song.
But yeah, I don't know what happened. But I do remember that the
Didn't
time
get the vaccine.
And then we
it did erase our memory of that
But
album.
why would Lady Gaga, because she was promoting the vaccine so hard, why would she do that to herself?
Just really get deep into this conspiracy.
Yeah, let's get into this conspiracy. That
why
we
would she
just
want
made
to
up.
forget
Yeah.
about being a free woman? Maybe it was like
to get into Harlequin.
yeah, because Harlequin is not free. She is repressed.
Why doesn't Lady Gaga just make a movie where she gets to play Squeaky Fromm and it's about the Manson family and like the Manson murders? Because that's what in Joker, that's what she wants to play. Like she's born to be in like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like Tarantino film.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it needs to be weirder, darker. I mean, I know Joker probably is, but I still don't understand why they made it a musical.
Yeah, in a courtroom drama on top of that.
That's just, I can't. When the price goes down to rent it, I do want to see it just for the lulz. Like I just want to, put myself through it just so I can.
Yeah, I would say circle back. But
I just feel like I have to support my girl.
Yeah.
It's really just for Gaga and just to see the spectacle of it all.
Truly. Wow.
Maybe like review something, give it like some, thumbs
what if
down.
you love it?
It would be really wild. That's the off chance. I feel like my taste sometimes is a little all over the place. So it could be that I love it.
And I would love that. What did you think of the first Joker that came out in 2019?
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. No complaints. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix was good. I loved the aesthetic. That's one thing I really enjoyed is like the colors, the makeup. Like it was kind of different than your typical, like really. I feel like there's a couple takes. Like it was kind of campy, I suppose, but it was like different. There was references to jazz music. I don't exactly know why, but it had like an element of realism. I don't know how to describe. I feel like all these like Batman-esque, like from this universe, they're all so all over the place. They're all so different. You know what I mean?
So
There's
different.
so many iterations.
Like your obsession. Well, my obsession with Oz in the sense of Wicked. But your obsession with the Penguin, which I know the season finale just happened. Did you watch?
I watched. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
How was Christine Melody?
She was good. I'm trying to remember. No, she was in it. I didn't really like how things ended with her, to be honest. Also, are you gonna do you think you'll really get into it? If not, I will just go ahead and spoil it. I won't be offended.
I made a fatal flaw, Brie. So when we talked about watching, it's called Oz, right? No, The Penguin. It's called The Penguin.
I think it's just called The Penguin. Wait, did you watch another show called Oz?
I watched Oz. No, I didn't. I didn't know if that's a show. I did not watch Oz. Could you imagine though?
That would be so funny.
Well, I'd be like, this is really gritty, Brie, and I don't see the Batman tie-in.
You're like, wow, that's really Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I'm like, which one?
Which one?
Okay, so you were like, it's like if The Sopranos were in the Batman universe,
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, so I say, ooh, okay, so I'll start a rewatch of The Sopranos and watch The Penguin.
It's not the same, is it?
Well, no, because then I ended up binge watching all The Sopranos and all the time that I allotted for myself to watch The Penguin, I didn't do. So then you're like, Nikki, I'll give you one more week. I'll give you one more week. And then I start The Penguin.
No.
I've watched that opening scene of the first episode of The Penguin so much. I've watched the first episode one ear out the other.
If it's an uphill battle, I won't be offended because I do know that sometimes we're attracted to different things. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay.
That's fair. We're not the same person.
We're not. And like sometimes I get attracted to like fantasy elements of things. That's part of the Wicked appeal for me. The magic of not just the music. Like, I do enjoy the music and stuff too. But while you were watching Glee, I think I was watching Once Upon a Time.
Oh yeah.
Which is very fairy tale, which is weird. I don't know. I guess I like fairy tales.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nerd, I guess.
And I want to hear more about this because out of my element.
The Penguin?
The Penguin is like
the other Oz?
The other Oz.
That's what I like to call him.
I had too many thoughts that took me away from that first episode of The Penguin.
That's so funny. That's okay. Yeah. I feel like I will just say the finale. These are spoilers.
It's
whatever. As long as you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. It might be helpful. These are like Cliff's notes. Maybe I can go back and watch the first season and pay attention.
I know, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fast forward to the very end.
Please, please.
How they wrap it up. So, well, I think it's interesting on one hand because it is like setting up the movie. Like, I think it's very rare where a movie comes out, then a series, not even a series completely based on the movie. It's like based off of a character that's a side character playing a small role in that movie. Like the Penguin's obviously a known character in that universe, in the Batman, DC universe.
Colin Farrell, yeah, it's like
he was on the screen for like 10 minutes, maybe. Like he didn't really. It's not like he's the Joker or I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool that they did this spinoff, and I think it actually worked. But now, what was my point? Oh, it's leading up to the movie again, the second Batman iteration with gosh, why I keep wanting to say Edward Cullen.
Robert Pattinson.
I don't know what it is that I'm like, no, it's not our Pats. It's Edward Cullen. Because he looks the same. He's so pale.
He does. Edward forever,
Edward forever.
I made that pact back in the day,
Yeah.
As a youth. Are you you're still Team Edward, I guess.
I guess so.
And now Team Penguin.
Now I'm Team Penguin. Actually, I'm not Team Penguin anymore. By the time you get to the end of the season, you really end up kind of hating the Penguin. You kind of love to hate him in some ways, or you're just like, he's silly, goofy, and he makes, he's like chaotic, maybe neutral. He's not.
What happens?
He's like pretty much, I think he's a sociopath, and like he kills his brothers when he's a kid. Like he's showing tendencies at a young age, basically, like an apathy. That is odd. And yeah, he's got like a bum foot. So
like Tony Soprano?
Oh, I don't know.
Not a bum foot, but
does he do something?
No, but he like throughout the series they're like, is he a sociopath?
Oh. Yeah, I mean I think they're on a very similar level. But
does he go to therapy?
That's the thing, is he does not. And he would not. I don't think the Penguin is not going to admit his problems. That's the thing. Tony Soprano is going to partially admit. He's going to like not give you the full story. He's going to lie to his therapist, but he's going to work it out within himself to a degree, is what I'm catching. Like he's like, oh, I can't disclose this information because of my profession, but also because I don't want to go there. So I'm not. But this therapist is bringing it up. So maybe it's going to be in the back of my mind. Like, yeah, maybe I do have some issues with my mom, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I can tell that he's like, working on it. He's like, damn it, man, it's not just the ducks, it's my family. Like I can tell that he has like some layers. The Penguin, I think, is an empty onion. Like he's like a hollowed out onion. He's a rotten onion.
Man, and that's why you need Christine Melody to bring in.
Yeah, she has layers.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm just making everything.
Can you tell me about her? Because I hear that she like brings the house down.
She brings the house down. She is a mastermind. She has a lot of trauma. But she inherits like kind of like a criminal empire of sorts. But it turns out that her father was a pretty shitty person and like killed her mother. So there's like a lot of juice with her story. She's also been sent to Arkham for his crimes. They called her the Hangman because they thought that she killed all these women. Which why? What was her motive? Like there's not really a clear motive, but because her family is in these power positions, they all kind of like find ways to pull these strings to kind of make it seem like she was involved somehow. They basically get her locked up. She has to go through, it's really messed up, like psych ward kind of stuff. Like, they do the like shock therapy on her. And then there's some weird relationship she has with like one of the doctors in the prison. Anyway, but she goes to prison for a long time. Finally gets out. I don't remember why she gets out of prison. But she's like trying to rebuild her. Like she's rebranding.
Wow.
And oh my God, her wardrobe is amazing. Like she looks amazing. She gets like a mullet haircut, and it looks so good. She can really rock this mullet. She ends up killing a lot of her own family members that they're corrupt. They're not really good people. And then she changes her name back to her like mother's maiden name and tries to build this whole other empire and teams up with this other guy who also hates the Penguin because the Penguin's double crossed her several times. Like they have a history and stuff, and you know, and then she realizes, oh, he actually lied to me about all these things, because that's all the penguin does is lie. And sometimes it's funny, and sometimes you're like, it's entertaining, and he does it for his own gain. And other times you're like, wait a minute, how far did you think you would get with this lie? So it's funny sometimes to see him, like, things come up, because he just is so confident about his line. Like, he's so confident. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but you know, things make their way around. Like, he has a lot of plot holes in his lies. So I don't know. It's a lot of drama. What was my point? Oh, fast forward to all this. The penguin's power is rising. And then by the end of the season, he ends up framing her for something and getting her back into jail.
Never trust a man. Back to the Megan Thee Stallion thing.
Exactly. There was a lot of gaslighting happening.
You know, not to be like, I hate men. Obviously not. Like, I love men, and I love the men in my life.
Right.
Not a lot of them, though.
Not
to
a
be
lot.
honest. I don't
Very
have a lot
few
of men in my life, but
I mean, same.
yeah, the ones that are there are good. But
yeah.
But also,
all the other-
like Megan Thee Stallion, I don't keep a posse of dudes anymore. What was I going to say? I spent so much time prefacing that I don't remember what I was going to say, but it was
you should just don't trust a man.
yeah. I guess that was it. I know I had something to say about the penguin, like Christine Melody, but I don't know. Thoughts are like the wind.
Thoughts are really like the wind. Just to put a bow on top of the story. She goes to jail, but guess what? Guess what happens? She gets a message from Selena Kyle, which, do you remember? You know who that is.
Zoe Kravitz?
Yes.
Oh my god, does she have a cameo?
No. They end right at her opening the letter from her sister. That's her sister in the story, her half sister.
Okay. And then the next Matt Reeves film is going to be that.
It's gonna I think it's gonna address that. I don't know. It's really cool, and it's cool to like see the lore and to make sense of like the first movie. Because they did talk about her father being that like mob, you know, like Catwoman. Yeah, I don't know. It was a cool way to bridge the two stories, because Penguin is its own thing. It doesn't really. It's like on the outskirts of like what happened, you know. But since it's like side characters, it's like they found a way to kind of make the whole story make sense, and so it's gonna be like weaving together. I don't know. I'm interested, and then I hear there's supposed to be more Penguin after the movie, which is just crazy. I don't know how.
Why?
And I don't know why the penguin. I mean, what is he going to do now? Like, I feel like he's turned into a terrible person. Like, he was already pretty terrible, but like there's like a major character that, you know.
Colin Farrell just wants to get into that fat suit.
Yeah. Maybe he was like, "Oh, I must do this again. I must have another season."
It was really
my contract.
fun.
Right.
It was really fun getting into hair and makeup for that long every single time.
Yeah, what did you think of that? Because you told me that you're like, that makes no sense.
I think it's crazy.
Did it take you out of the show a bit thinking about it?
It did, because like I love Colin Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Colin Farrell's a sexy man.
He
One of the
is.
men that I say he's okay. So attractive, so talented. I did not know that was him. It does not compute. He's under mountains and mountains of prosthetics and whatever, you know, accoutrement to become the penguin, that you don't see him. This isn't like,
no, he doesn't look
him.
recognizable at all.
And it's not just like,
even in the eyes,
him.
like he looks like he has beady eyes.
That's what gets me, where it takes me out, because I'm like, they could have just hired someone if they wanted someone to look like this.
No, I love it.
But like, work smarter, not harder, y'all. Like,
I say work harder. It's so entertaining. It's so wild.
it is so wild.
But his accent's really good. I think. Like, he must have worked really hard to, you know, like to have that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Jersey or exactly. I think it's like a amalgamation of things. Like, he must have studied, because he does the De Niro like squint. He does like all sorts of things with his face that I feel like he's probably picked up everywhere. He's definitely seen The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, he's like fully in his Tony Soprano rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
But It just takes me out. I'm not like, it's not like a critique almost. It's just like, oh, it makes me think about who's beneath this like mountain of stuff.
That's funny. And every time I'm so impressed, I'm like, can you believe that's Colin Farrell in there? And I'm like, wow.
It's almost like he's in like a like Disney character suit almost at that point. He's like, you know, like the mascot at a basketball game, but he's the penguin.
Yeah.
Which, like, respect, though. Also, if you want to, like, fully get, like, okay, real talk, being an actor is really getting the costume and the hair and the makeup.
You have to believe it, right? You have to, that's part of what attaches you
Yeah.
to your character,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, you know, Colin Farrell's just like, I don't know. He's saying, I see you, Gaga, and I'll raise you a penguin.
I know.
Bam.
I wonder if he's like going out in this penguin suit, like in his own time, like method acting, going to get like a donut or something.
That just reminds me of that time in the early 2000s where we were totally problematic and fat phobic, and it'd be like on the Tyra Banks show, like,
oh my God,
shallow howled herself.
I forgot about Tyra Banks was wild.
She was wilding out.
Yeah. Just trying to reflect a mirror to society.
And she was like, people are mean and treat me different. And everyone's like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, you have no, but yeah. Her show, we should watch that show.
We should. But you know what? If we're going to watch, like, not even trash TV, the GOAT, Wendy.
Oh, I miss Wendy Williams.
I do too.
Is she okay?
I don't know, but I wish the best for her. I
do too. I always get all these out of nowhere. I don't know when it started, and it hasn't stopped, and I don't want it to stop. But I always get like TikToks that are like the like top 10 moments of Wendy, whatever they are, and they're all like funny. It's like unhinged Wendy Williams, and I was like, oh, I remember like coming back from school and seeing her on the TV and just like being like, ooh, what's the hot gossip? What is that segment she did where it was like the gossip? Is it hot gossip?
She brought out hot gossip and she brought out her tea.
Yeah.
What a queen. I mean, I watched that like in school, but then I also went through a phase in college where on YouTube, like the compilations or just like I'd watch like on her YouTube channel, like all the Wendy show.
Yeah. I love when she calls out members in the audience. I always thought, oh, I would love to be on the show, but also be afraid to be on the show. You know, she might point out a flaw.
I would love it. I
should read you.
Yes. The only person I'd want to be read by is Wendy. Oh, circling back to Wicked for a second to wrap this episode up. Brie.
Yes, I know.
I see on the doc you have wondering if I've seen a Lady Gaga performance.
Oh, no. I'm not wondering.
Okay, because
I know you've seen this. Nikki, I'm not wondering.
I'm like, bitch, please. I'm someone's lore.
That is an insult to you.
The power of a rebrand. We didn't discuss it, but the crucial part of a rebrand is the lore.
Yes.
And creating lore.
Yes.
And I know Lady Gaga lore.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to touch on. Yes, with like rebranding. She was definitely doing something that day. Mm-hmm. When she went on Good Morning America, was it 2009?
It was 2013.
13. Okay.
It was to promote Artpop.
Yeah.
It was a dark time for Miss Gaga, but
I didn't think Artpop was bad though. I loved Artpop.
I love Artpop too. I'll defend it to this day.
Same.
What's your favorite song on Artpop?
Guy?
Me too. I was about to say, why is it
G-U-Y? Technically, it's got the dots, but yeah. I love that song. It's so interesting. I don't know.
So
Underrated. Jazz.
Right. Okay. Addison Rae would not exist without Lady Gaga's Guy. Like, all of her music low-key sounds like Guy.
Some of the choreography,
in the best way.
too, is similar. Mm-hmm. In the Aquamarine music video when she's laying like on the ground, like falling off the chair, whatever. You know what I mean?
And I was thinking just Eyes Wide Shut coded. But now that I'm thinking about it, it does look like the Guy music video.
Mm-hmm. Just think on that, everyone.
I know. But
But yeah, that clip. I know that you've seen this. I included this on the doc because of the Wicked of it all. Because Wicked is on the brain, and then this clip came into my feed, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. Like I had totally forgotten. She performs on Good Morning America. She performs Applause, dressed as Dorothy, and then does a quick change into Glinda. And it's so wild. It's so campy. She has like her backup dancers that are just like the Tin Man, the Lion, and like the Scarecrow, and a flying monkey, I think, is on the stage too.
Doing full choreo.
Yeah.
At 8 a.m. in the morning.
It's 8
think
a.m.
the context matters so much.
The best things happen at 8 a.m. in the morning.
On Good Morning America. Actually, this wasn't Good Morning America, but it was the Today Show.
Yes, it was.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Fergie, Barracuda.
I've watched that 3 days in a row now. I've been bugging all my coworkers about it. I don't know what okay, this is what started it. So I put on a Gwen Stefani radio. Fergie started playing, right, on Pandora. And I was working with someone who's familiar with Fergie, but not familiar with the ha ha ha. And I said, you've got to see this. You got to see what this girl's doing at 8 a.m. I don't know.
So funny.
Yeah.
What did they think?
They were impressed. They were laughing. I thought she was going to pee her pants from laughter. And I was like, yes.
Did you also then say you thought you were going to pee your pants? Well, imagine being Fergie.
I almost did. I was like, but maybe that's too much for one go. Like that, she needs to simmer. I'll show that clip later.
Well, please educate the youth.
I'm educating the youth out here. But this is another one. I've been talking about this clip as well because like people need to know. I've just been bugging people about Gaga and Fergie. I don't know why. That's my new thing.
I mean, queens.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this performance, and what's your temperature check? Like, is everyone vibing with this performance of Applause?
I think so.
Or do they think that they might be on drugs because it's a little creepy?
The person I told about, they didn't see it. I was just recommending it. And I'm like, get back to me. So I don't know. But what do I think?
Yeah,
maybe. I think Gaga was just trying something, honestly. It is strange, though, for Good Morning America. Like, it's a weird, like, because the stage isn't really set. Like, I kind of wish, I mean, on one hand, I kind of like that it's like a low budget version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like, oh, yeah, it could be, like, if this was, like, the VMAs or something, she would have gone all out. Like, it would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is, like, I don't know exactly.
Well, for the VMAs that year, she was... what is it? Botticelli.
Oh, with the seashell like coming out of that's one of my favorite Gaga looks with that wig with the long curly hair. Love that. She's like a mermaid coming out the clamshell.
Yep. And I forget so much of Gaga lore, especially around the Artpop era, but I do remember she like fires her manager around this time, and it is like a hard time for Gaga and like the Artpop not working of it all. But I think that Gaga's trying to, with the Applause, make the Judy Garland Wizard of Oz connection, because like one of the songs, like it wasn't on Artpop, but one of the songs around that time that was like unreleased was called Princess Di. And so, you know, she's doing, you know, Venus and Judy Garland reference, and then like Princess Di. I kind of,
you're on to something.
I think so. I mean, I can get bits and pieces, but I would love to be more informed about the Artpop lore of it all, because she is cooking.
She is.
I use that term correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
when you're cooking up something good.
She was cooking.
She was busy. She was in that kitchen.
She was in the kitchen. Now
with the cooking to the
out. Does the term when you cook, does that mean you have to cook before you can eat?
Yeah.
Like she didn't. Artpop era didn't.
She cooked.
It didn't eat,
but she burned it. Well, I don't know if she burned it.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't people's taste.
But now, I mean, yeah, like I said, Addison Rae sounds like Artpop. So
Yeah. I always loved the sound. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with Artpop. I just think, yeah, it was just like a weird time, and I'm not entirely sure why it didn't do well. Why? I feel like we talked about this, but I don't remember what the conclusion was.
I don't know. Laura was weird. I mean, maybe she also was like doing some A to C things,
Maybe.
dressed as Dorothy.
Yeah. I mean, that didn't really help because it does like, I mean, it kind of reminds me of like even earlier Gaga, which I think makes more sense. You know what I mean? But
like very low. You know what? The eras of Gaga talk about a rebrand. It's not even a rebrand. I think the problem with eras is what we saw with Gaga.
Mm.
You know, I think like when she was churning out the eras, we were eating it up.
Mm-hmm.
We loved it until we got a couple years in and it got a little too avant-garde.
Yeah, but I do love the avant-garde
I do too.
of it all. Like, I don't know that it's meant to be understood. I feel like the audience maybe isn't there on GMA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just didn't seem like the right place. You know, I think that's what it is for me. Like, I love it.
I do too.
But it feels a little strange. 8 a.m. on live TV. Just like, no. And I don't necessarily think there has to be a set or anything, but I feel like she was bringing something like that theater kid energy, but also like avant-garde, like artsy, like just weird and different. Like, I love that, but I just don't know. I feel like people were probably like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But I feel like there are people who get it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's definitely, because I feel like it is part of the lore. There's a lot of people that can appreciate it, like in a non-ironic way.
Oh, my God. At the time, I was so into it. Like, looking back, it's kind of like hit or miss. I think the Artpop era is a little hit or miss in retrospect.
Yeah.
But I'd love to revisit.
We should revisit it.
Let's please. Because after this performance on GMA, like that rewatch, I was like, okay. I know this was a one-off. But I'm like,
I think you're really on to something about the Judy Garland of it all as well. Like, there's something to that. Definitely. Also, the whole production of the original Wizard of Oz is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Just saying. Just throwing that in there. And, you know, living for the applause. Like, how far will people go to live for the applause? Even the Tin Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the Wizard of Oz is like, is that. You're right. You're totally right.
Just saying.
Yeah. Also, yeah. I did skip over the whole lore of the original Wizard of Oz because it is sad.
It is very sad. I didn't even find out about it till like it was like years ago when I discovered something. I was just like, oh, I can't even like since I've been watching like the, you know, clips of like the Wicked press tour and stuff. There's been a few things that are like the original Wizard of Oz, like they're like talking about the production, like how it's a nightmare and all this stuff that happened on set. And I'm like, oh man, don't remind me. Or like, oh, I don't want to know any more nightmares. Like that's gonna ruin it for me. Like.
No.
It's like finding out about Milo and Otis and them using like harming the animals or something. I'm like, no,
that's messed up.
Don't ruin this.
It's crazy. But also, is there a movie better than The Wizard of Oz?
It's just a shame there was no safe face paint. That, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like I'm just like, oh man,
getting lead poisoning.
But they use something else?
I have seen those commercials. People back in the day were getting lead poisoning
from so many things.
From everything.
Yeah.
Not to make an excuse, but that was like a thing.
Yeah. Scary times.
Very. I mean, Judy Garland was on diet pills and like essentially meth.
Wasn't she smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day or more?
She was like 13.
They gave them to her, right?
Yeah. Insane.
To keep her going and filming?
And to stay thin and to get thinner.
It's crazy. And she was a girl. I mean, she's like a little girl.
You know, talent too. It ruined her whole entire life. What do you do for art? You know?
What does art do for you?
And what does art do for you? Is it better to be the artist or the consumer?
Or does the artist, where's the line between art and art?
I know.
I'm just like thinking, I just like picture Lady Gaga performing on GMA. Like, this is the message she wanted to get out, right?
Lady Gaga during the Artpop era would be thriving right now, though. We're ready for it now.
I think so. Well, that I really think with her new album, I think she's gonna get weird again, and I love that. Like, I'm ready for it. Like, I'm done with the Harlequin nonsense. Like, I'm like, it's not horrible, but it's just, it does seem like one of those weird experiments that like, it's not gonna appeal to the masses. And not everything has to, but it's all like jazzy, but it's like weird, sad jazz to me. Like it's nothing I can dance to. I miss the bops that either like just have like heart or that I can dance to. So like Disease is a bop.
Oh yeah, it's grown on me too. At first, I wasn't like a huge fan of it,
Yeah.
and then every listen, I'm like, no, this is like a certified banger.
Yeah, and has like a darkness to it that's kind of cool. Like it's kind of icky, but in a fun way. You know what I mean? Like did you see the music video too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the music video.
I said it once on this episode. I'll say it again. I think she is like vying for a Tarantino-esque role.
Yeah.
Like I know before she's referenced Kill Bill and everything, but just the car in Disease just really reminds me of like a Tarantino film.
Yeah. I feel like it's like, yeah, like that kind of stuff. And then like in her music videos, I feel like I see those elements and then maybe like the Substance vibes as well. Or at least in Disease.
Disease is very the Substance coded.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know. I don't know if she looks in the mirror, but there's two of her.
Yeah. No, I'm into it. I'm so into it. Is there, I ask you, like, you might know, like, for certain, but maybe you've heard something. Die with a Smile? Not to harp on it.
Yeah.
Are they going to do anything else? Are they going to be the new, what's his thing with Anderson .Paak? Like Silky Sonic, Leave the Door Open.
Oh, yeah.
What was that project called? Like, my question is, you're telling me Die with a Smile is just a one-off and we get this really interesting, like, Lady Gaga persona?
Do you want her to release the whole album like she did with Tony Bennett, but it's just her and Bruno Mars?
Yeah, like, why not? This is the only time I've been into Bruno Mars in a hot minute either, so why not?
Their voices go well together. Like, that song is a lovely song.
He's looking like a little hottie with his little mustache.
Yeah. It would be cool if there was more lore with that, or like a three-parter. I don't know. It's a nice song. I mean, it's not really a bop, but they're not. I don't know. When I say bop, I just mean can I dance to it?
You can't dance to it. Well, you can do that dance.
What dance?
Her dance. Her like.
Oh, like she's rolling a lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely felt like with that music video, they created a strong world. It was like bam, and it's so random, released so randomly. I feel like it's related to the Folie à Deux though. Like I think she's some level of Harlequin because even her makeup has that little like diamond looking thing over the eye. Like there's some elements where I'm like,
some elements.
Yeah, I feel like she's like it's like that character is hanging on there.
It's crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, Brie, and I know we're gonna wrap this up. Harlequin is the only time I think Lady Gaga has truly flopped. Everything else, like I'm going to erase it in my mind because Die with a Smile into Disease is very interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna erase it too. Well, she also says LG7, which I'm guessing is just like Lady Gaga 7. Maybe it's gonna be futuristic or something. But if you look at her albums, Harlequin is not included as like the 6th album or the 7th. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I went and looked and it's not like it's kind of included at like with this. There's like the soundtrack from Folie à Deux and then there's Harlequin companion album, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So I don't think she's even including it. It's quite the same. It just happened to be a full album. I don't know. I guess she just had to make the art and get it out. But which I can respect. It's just I mean, it's a lot of cover songs too.
The photo shoot for the Harlequin companion album is great.
It is cool.
It's really cool. So,
yeah.
I'll always spin it though in Gaga's favor. I think.
Yeah, that's even the crap is good. It's not. Yeah. I wouldn't call it crap.
No.
I just don't know I don't know. Like everything she makes is good. So, but it's not like I don't think it's like an official album. Like I don't know if this is. Well, no, I don't know if we'll look back and be like, oh yeah, that definitive Harlequin album.
No, but Die With a Smile is such a success. I feel like there's some juice.
Do you think it's gonna like grow on us all as a society? Like, do you think it's gonna like have a slow climb?
It's on Die With a Smile's on the radio. I hear it all the time.
I've heard it a couple times.
It's nominated for a Grammy, and they're probably gonna win.
Oh wow,
for best like pop duo. So
well, good. I won't be mad at it. I just felt like it was weird timing.
Very weird. Also, Folly Do would have been bad anyways. But like, if we got to linger with Die With a Smile, I'm just saying.
I think that should have been on the like the soundtrack, because it makes sense. The Joker smiles, like he's got a creepy smile. It just, and their twisted love story, like the lyrics, like to me, it all sounds very like Joker-esque, but like better because it's like Bruno Mars.
But also, you gotta see Folly too, because it would not fit even at the end. Like,
really, it wouldn't.
No,
I guess it's just like my like on the outside, like my impressions, like of what I think the movie's gonna be. I still can't wrap my mind around this whole courtroom.
You're living
musical.
in a fairy tale, Brie.
Is it just like Judge Judy up there, and she's like, order?
It's like that clip from Cop Rock.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I've never seen Cop Rock all the way, but I've seen a clip. Yeah,
I haven't either. But yeah, that clip where they're singing "He's Guilty,"
and he never moves from the court. Is it just stay in the courtroom?
No, there's some dream sequences where him and Gaga are like on like a 70s Sonny and Cher style
dreaming
show.
In the courtroom.
They're also singing in the courtroom, like actually singing. The Joker's in jail.
I have like so many questions.
Joker.
Does he go to jail, or is he just thinking about it?
No, he goes to jail. He meets Harley Quinn.
Oh.
He loses his virginity.
Oh wow, this is not what I thought. I thought they were already together and then they go into court. I think because of the Gucci, like the what was that movie?
House of
Gucci. I think I'm thinking it's gonna be like that, like they're in the courtroom. I don't know if that movie even is in the courtroom. It's just the story is in the courtroom.
Yep. Nope. I preferred House of Gucci.
Is that your final verdict?
But no, Gaga is such a great actor. She will rise above. She will rise again.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for LG7.
Dun dun.
Dun dun.
Period.
But yeah. Anything else you'd like to discuss? To bring to this courtroom?
It ain't easy being green.
It is not.
I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Not for the Grinch. Not for Kermit. Not
No.
for Elphaba.
No one. That's great. Yeah. So true. That was one of the things I said to you, like the first things when we were watching Wicked, like in the theater. I turned to you and I was like, "Hey, this is like the same thing that happened to the Grinch. Like it's very similar. They outcasted him too. It hurt me so much that she comes out green, and then the parents are like, take her away, and I'm like, damn, that's so cold,
Cold-blooded,
very cold. You know, if your own baby's great like that, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, but I don't know. I just think that's terrible justice for green people.
Yeah.
And Kermit the Frog.
Green's a beautiful color.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the color of this year.
It got me thinking. Yes, it got me thinking really deep. I've been thinking a lot. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I was thinking about this. Like, is there a reason why our society hasn't responded? So, like, it's definitely responded to Brett, but like, maybe not as many people as we thought. I don't. Is it the color green? Is there something wrong with the color green? It's a half-baked thought, but you know, like
let's
simmer with that. Like, why Wicked? She's green. Like Brat. I mean, green. I know Charlie XCX isn't green, but I feel like the green is synonymous with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just food for thought. Shrek is green.
Shrek is green, and Fiona's green too.
Mm-hmm. They didn't like her when she was green.
They only liked her when she was a human. That's ogreism.
Yes. I feel like we're going off the rails.
Well, we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
This is when we do the Irish accent.